Blacktivities is a Black Panache original production, a podcast network with a lineup of Black-hosted shows sharing Black stories and tackling Black issues. For more information on shows like our newest production, Fat Lies Matter, visit blackpanache.com. Links are in the show notes. Have you heard the term femicide?
No.
I had not heard this term until I started doing some research.
When I vision the word, it sounds like obviously female and homicide.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that makes sense, you know?
Yes.
Okay.
In my class, we break apart the words and look at...
Oh, see? Look at me.
Yep.
Okay.
So...
Might enroll back in college. Okay.
I'm Shannon.
And I'm Lisa.
And you're listening to Blacktivities,
a celebration of all things Black.
Black culture, Black history,
Black perspectives, and Black panache.
Celebrating our Blackness doesn't mean exclusion.
Everybody's invited, but you gotta come in and have a seat.
So let the Blacktivities begin. Welcome to Blacktivities. I'm Shannon, and I'm joined by my co-host, Mona Lisa the Poet. KK could not be with us today, but the show must go on. So we're going to have to use the words duality and monolith so that her presence can be felt in her absence.
Yes.
Because she might have used those two words in every episode this season. I noticed it because I have to edit all of them.
What was the other word she used, though? The 3-point word. What was that? Oh, what did she say?
I can't remember. That was a 3-point word.
I challenge y'all to go back and listen and find that word. There's a reel. We got a reel out there. You'll get a prize from Mona Lisa. Go find it.
So speaking of this season, I just want to take the time to give a special shout out to some special people. And that would be you, our listeners. Let me tell you, most of y'all probably don't know that me, am Black Panache Productions. So not only do I host the show, I'm the producer, I'm the editor, I'm the PR person, I'm the social media marketer. And on top of that, we all have full-time jobs that ain't got nothing to do with podcasting. So before this season even started, your girl was tired. I was tired. So when we got Apple Podcasts new and noteworthy this season, it brought more attention to what we're doing, and it kind of gave me a second wind to know that many of y'all rocked with us the whole season. So thank you, because I personally did not know how I was going to make it. I was struggling. So this is the last episode of season 4, and I hope it's been a rich and insightful one. My goal with all of this is to make people think. I want you to learn. I want you to laugh. I want you to think, and I want you to be inspired. So I hope that you guys have done just that. Lisa, do you have anything to say about that?
Yes, I also want to throw out there the appreciation for the listeners. And then also you forgot about us being nominated for 2024 Best Podcast for the Chattanooga Business Elite.
Oh,
that was another thing too. Yeah, that was really, really fun, but it kind of shed some light on what we do and how we have fun doing it. So I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Yes, we really do. Now, just because the season ends after this episode doesn't mean that the Blacktivities have to end. We show up in your feed in the blackest months of the year, just to help you remember. That would be Black History Month and around Juneteenth. Last year, we were live from, well, it's really my hometown because Lisa claims chat. So,
hey, that's from, baby, ain't no claiming. That's where I'm from. 423 in my blood. What? Even though they be acting up sometime. What?
But yeah, we met in my hometown. And so last year we were live from my hometown's Juneteenth celebration. And hopefully this year we'll be back live from somebody else's fish fry or cookout. Y'all let us know what y'all got going on.
Yes,
Also,
please, definitely.
I got some bonus content that I've actually already recorded and some other interviews that are in the works. And I'm excited about putting some of those things out in between. It's really going to be like a podcast within a podcast for the bonus content that I have in mind. Also, you can always find us on our IG page. We're at Blacktivities Pod. So hit us up there. We've been saying we're going to do some lives, Lisa, but we have not done them yet.
The thing, I want people to talk to us. You know what I want to pull up? I want to start up the we should ask questions.
Mm,
The ask a black person.
mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I think we should do. So
We're going to work on it.
we'll work on it. We'll work on it. I want to do that.
Okay. So enough of that. On with the show. Since KK is not here, I'm filling in for her with the big facts.
Big facts.
Okay, so we talk about our black men and our sons being an endangered species, but we have to add ourselves to this list because according to a study completed by the CDC between 1999 and 2020, black women are 6 times more likely to be killed than white women. In Wisconsin, they're 20 times more likely. So this comes from a paper that was published in early February of this year in the Lancet Medical Journal that analyzed homicide rates of black women ages 25 to 44 across 30 states. Also, they found that black women living in Midwestern and Northeastern states were more likely to be killed by a firearm. Now, stats are stats, so the data doesn't necessarily reveal the causes, but the paper that published the stats, they named structural racism. That includes poverty, education, employment, and living situations because of these things. The article I read added that black women might be more scared to call the police because they don't know what might happen if they do. And there might be like some more mental aspects to it because, there might be more self-blame, and there's the whole dynamic of the strong black woman that comes into play. 2 other big facts that came with that. Approximately 45% of black women experience stalking, physical and sexual violence in their lifetimes, and an estimated 51% of black female adult homicides were related to intimate partner violence, and that's according to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence.
They'll be the craziest. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No,
but
go ahead.
That right there, what you talking about, like, for as women being killed by their domestic partners. I watch a lot of true crime, and those be the craziest episodes, like crazy, the most crazy. I'm not saying that, but just the situation is just like you wouldn't believe the things that do go on. So yeah, that is why I just want to add that on there.
There was something that happened here recently with some people that I went to college with. A guy murdered his girlfriend. They both went to the college that I went to.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know the girl that much. I had seen her, but I knew the guy. So it's kind of crazy to think about. Have you heard the term femicide?
No.
I had not heard this term until I started doing some research.
When I vision the word, it sounds like obviously female and homicide.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that makes sense,
Yes.
Okay.
In my class, we break apart the words and look at.
Oh, see, look at me.
Yep.
Okay.
So
might enroll back in college. Okay.
There's a feminist activist named Diana Russell who started using this term in 1976. So it's not a new term, but it is used to describe the intentional gender-related killing of women and girls. So it actually kind of goes hand in hand with domestic violence against women because in the research, a lot of those gender-related killings happen between romantic partners or whatever, or between like males, fathers, and things like that too. And in 2022, around 48,800 women and girls worldwide were killed by their intimate partners or other family members. So it says including fathers, mothers, uncles, and brothers. So that means on average, more than 133 women or girls are killed every day by someone in their own family. The research said that they suspected that the numbers are actually higher, but they can't necessarily prove that some of the murders happen because of the person's gender. And Africa leads in those statistics. But in 2022, the US ranked 34th amongst our peers.
Wow.
The article mentioned maybe a connection to how easily accessible firearms are in our country. Do you feel like the rates of Black women being murdered would go down if there were stricter gun laws?
I feel like it's a cop out just to say is. I mean, I understand what the statistics and all of that. I mean, I just feel like among Black women, we aren't put on that same level as other women. And I don't want to be like very specific, but y'all know what I mean. When it comes to lives, Black women lives, or even Black children lives being lost, it's not put on the same perspective as a sense of urgency like it would be a little girl, a little Caucasian girl. So I feel like them just saying the type of murder or like what happened, that's nothing that's deterring from the major issue that it is happening. Whereas we need to have more programs, and then obviously law enforcement, let's get them the funding that they need and have sufficient training to where they can crack down on what's going on when it comes to people that is in, like, let's say in a relationship, domestic abuse, making sure they have the resources and have people talking to them. And also too, we can't put all the blame on, the law enforcement and all that. It's families. We got to stop going blind when we see certain things that's going on. So I feel like just saying, oh, if we get rid of the guns, then it won't happen. No, they'll find another way of doing it. I'm not saying, okay, yeah, let's be strict when it comes to guns, but no, I feel like it's more to it than that.
Now, are you in agreement with some of the factors that this article said that they feel like are the reasons behind Black women being killed at a higher rate than other races of women, white women?
See, that's hard to say too. I feel like it's all the same. It's just I feel like that we just don't get the same, what's the word, publicity? Is that the correct
Publicity.
term?
Yeah.
Social media, like we don't get that same thing. So I feel like it's the same. It's just that unfortunately, Keisha that went missing on a girls' trip in Virginia didn't get the same, what's the word? She didn't get the same acknowledgement as Natalie Holloway that was in Aruba. You know what I mean? So I just feel like it just goes hand in hand. I think it's like the same. It's just that when it comes to getting the message out and helping, we just don't get that same thing.
I would say that some of the things that they mentioned, like structural racism, poverty, education, employment, living situations, all of those things are connected.
Right.
So I feel like they could play a factor in that. Also, generational trauma, I feel like.
Oh,
But that
yes.
generational
Yes.
trauma, some of those things that they listed may create or, I use a big word, exacerbate those.
3 points. Boom. You got yours.
Exacerbate those things like they make them worse. And then like the cycle of that continues throughout generations. So I think that has something to do with it as well. But yeah, I mean, we've said it a lot. This season, previous seasons, Black women still seem to be the lowest on the totem pole, the most disrespected.
We're not taken serious, and it
Yeah.
sucks not being taken serious. And not saying that, no one else work harder, but we have to work harder and suck up more things that happen to us. We carry that on our back just like it's a regular day. And it's hard. I'm going to tell you, it's hard when we go through things and we carry it on our back, and then we hear somebody over here complaining about something real small. And we just imagine having to walk all day with your lip, like closing your lips all day long. Like, it's hard. We work hard.
Yeah.
Just to have something happen to us and it's ignored.
But
It is
then
ignored.
there's also that strong Black woman thing like we talked about before. Because I feel like other people view us as the strong Black woman. And so it's like the whole thing about, not really being able to feel pain or feeling less pain. Right? Historically, that was a thing. It still kind of is a thing today. So other people see us in that way and may think, we're strong, we can handle it. But we also, as Black women, I think, feel a need to be strong.
Right.
And so we put that
because
on
we're taught.
ourselves as
We're
well.
taught we have to.
Yeah.
We're taught we have to be that way. Like, we're taught that that's the way it's supposed to be.
So maybe some women who might be in an abusive relationship or something like that might think that they can endure. And so they stay in the relationship longer because they're strong, right? They can handle it. Now, I'm not speaking from experience, so I could be completely wrong when I say that.
I mean, I agree with you, and I feel like it is rough. It's a very rough situation, but again, I can't express enough how important it is that we do shed light and we acknowledge the things that do go on, and then also hold people accountable that are taking lives and taking our queens away from us. But many of these women that are murdered, they're missing. Okay, they go missing. We have Black children that go missing often. So something that I found out is last year, they put it in the works where they have something called the Ebony Alert. Did you hear of that? Okay. So in California, they got that to where they have the Ebony Alert, which is quite similar to the Amber Alert. Okay. So when I first heard it, I was like, why do we need that? I thought the Amber Alert was for everybody,
I mean, it's supposed to be.
Yeah. But the Ebony Alert is supposed to be like a specific resource meant to help law enforcement focus on diverse missing person cases. Okay. And it's supposedly is set in a place to bridge the racial disparities. So with that, I can kind of understand where at first I felt offended. I was like, why do we need something else? But then I was like, wait, this is their way of trying to do exactly what I'm asking, is trying to shed more light. Like, come on now, we need more attention, because I'm going to be honest, like, how many Amber Alerts have you seen for missing Black children that you can think of on the top of your head? Because I can tell you a few. The little buddy that lived in, was it Wisconsin or somewhere, that killed his wife and his 2 children. And then when the police came, they got a Netflix special on him where he killed his family. But they put an Amber Alert out for his 2 children. So it's like, I can go on and on and on, but I can't think of an Amber Alert for, African American children. In your opinion, do you find it necessary that California passed this bill? I know I said what I said, but what do you feel like it was necessary?
I mean, I think it's a good thing because for one, I think passing it brings attention to the fact that you don't see as many of us on the Amber Alerts, because there's a group of people that probably was unaware of that, or they just didn't think about it. So I like it for that, and also for the fact that they're trying to make up for it. They acknowledge that this is a problem, and they're
Right.
trying to make up for that. So,
Right.
yeah, I like it. I read in, some of my research that Black children are disproportionately classified as runaways compared to white kids,
Yes.
and so that
Yes.
limits some of the resources that are available for the investigations that they need to do, and that leads to less media coverage. So
Right. Another thing too that I came across that sometimes lead to less media coverage is, let's say if a woman goes missing, right? But she's had a past. There was a situation where they shared her mugshot.
mm,
It was something that had happened in the past. And everybody was like, y'all couldn't, like, she had a Facebook page. Y'all couldn't pull a picture from her Facebook page.
that's crazy.
And so, yeah, they shared her mugshot. And that's something that I noticed here. Like, I can see them there. So let's say if that person just passed through, they do see this picture of this person. Unfortunately, I don't know, well, she probably on drugs or something. And
Mhm.
then that's less energy put into that person. So when I read that, I feel like that right there played a major part in just taking away. And then also that's disrespect to the family too.
Well, with that point that you're making, whatever picture they use, when
Mm-hmm.
they see that it's a Black child, there may be some bias that's
Mm-hmm.
coming in
Mm-hmm.
because, people assume that we're criminals anyway, or we're doing something wrong that we're not supposed to be doing. And so maybe
Right.
some implicit bias comes into place when people see our pictures as being missing and whatnot.
Right. Right. So I thought that was wild. But I do think, I hope that they do kind of spread the ebony alert to other states. I feel like it'll be very, very vital to have in Georgia and Tennessee,
Did
you know.
Alabama do something like that?
I'm not sure. I didn't come across Alabama.
I'll have to look that up.
Okay. But for the people again that don't know about it, kind of go read up on the Ebony Alert, which is quite similar to the Amber Alert. Obviously, most of us, we know that the Amber Alert was named after a little girl named Amber Hagerman, who was abducted and murdered in 96 in Texas.
All right. Well, you got a piece for us today?
Yeah, I have a piece here. Let me pull it on up. This piece is called Lost Ones. I know that it's too much to ask. I know asking for justice, for time to investigate my existence. I know it's a strain on your caseload, your ability to see me as a human being. Being that my melanin is held as collateral, you tell me the inability to find my family is false, and your actions of detached faith is hearsay. Just help me. I know I'm asking a lot. I know my thoughts of never feeling relevant. Yeah, my substance not subject to a court ruling because the controversy has not actually arisen. It just ended. My world is totally moot. Well, actually mute. So I wait patiently. Don't worry though, because my patience has been taught. My ancestors held their last breath without a quarter rewarded until their first test. I know all about that. I know what I'm worth. But I ask this one time, just please look this way. My spirit is the light, and with promise, if given an opportunity, I promise value will be added to the space I'm in. Just give me a chance. Come find me.
That's deep, ma'am.
Yes. Yes. I've been in my feelings this past couple weeks.
Mm.
But I'm gonna be honest, like when preparing for this, I have been listening to other podcasts. I've been kind of doing my own research. I even came across a website. I mean, you guys probably already know about it, but it is called Blacking Missing Inc., where they do share articles and they actually post Black children, teenagers, women that have come up missing. And you can also donate to their cause. But there's a lot of different little programs out there. They even have it on there where you can report an anonymous tip, which I thought was pretty dope as well. But I've been doing my research. It had me in my feelings. I don't watch documentaries, and it hit me here. I was in there in that living room crying. I was snotting. But yeah, I wrote that, and I was like, man, we gotta have, like, we just want rights. We just want it to be equal. That's all. But other than that, y'all cut it out though. Stop acting up. That's my closing statement. Y'all chill out. That's how we say it. Y'all chill out. Just chill out, man.
Yeah. So, Lisa, what is your call to action for the culture today?
Okay. My call to action is to, 1, y'all pay attention to your surroundings. 2, y'all stop being in these streets being ruthless. Women, take care of yourselves. Don't put yourselves in a position to where things could possibly happen. And I'm not putting any blame or anything, gaslight, anything like that, but we got to take care of each other and look out for each other. And then my other call to action is y'all come talk to us, inbox us, Blacktivities. I want to put that out there. Out there. But yeah, that's my call to action is pay attention.
Okay. Well, I had to think about what my call to action was, and I'm not really exactly sure, because taking care of issues involving structural racism may help some of this, but sometimes we, the people, don't really have a lot of control over that. Maybe have more conversations with our sons about how men should respect and treat women. And conversations with our daughters about how to choose better partners and what not to accept.
Okay.
And then maybe, like most things that we've talked about, work to heal that generational trauma, work to break the cycles of poverty, work to break the cycles of abuse, because there are some cycles of abuse that show up in our culture. And sometimes that stuff is overlooked or not talked about.
Right.
So, yeah, we have to start talking about those things seriously.
Definitely. I totally agree.
Well, folks, that's a wrap on season 4. I'm about to take a nice little break and get my life and health back in order.
Same.
It's been a little bit crazy. But after that, look for that bonus content that I talked about at the beginning. And to make sure that you don't miss it when I drop it, click that plus and subscribe so that it comes straight to your downloads. If you've been loving our show this season, please go and give us a 5-star rating in Apple Podcasts as well.
Please.
Yeah, we would appreciate that. And again, we thank you so much. Until then,
King and queens, keep doing big things. Let's go.
See y'all later.